Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Lock Shop. Nielson and Huss back with you once again, brought to you by our wonderful partners at Coolbet. If you have not yet signed up for an account at Coolbet, what are you waiting for? Coolbet.com. Use the code LOCKSHOP. If you're watching on Twitter, you're watching on YouTube, and you've not yet subscribed to the podcast, make sure you do that. And hey, maybe you only listen to the podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. YouTube.com/LockShopBets is where you can find us. Huss, how's Qatar, my man? Week number 2.
I honestly feel like I've moved here. I'm now now half Qatari. Well, no, I'm not. But yeah, you know what? Listen, since we last did the show, there's been so much that's happened, both with the World Cup, obviously tons of NHL action. Shout out to Canada winning the Davis Cup. Unbelievable for our guys. We're going to be talking about that coming up today for a little bit on Winnipeg Sports Talk. But man, it's been wild. I mean, this whole trip's sort of been a dream. I mean, it's still, even now after being here for a week, it doesn't seem real. And what can I say? I mean, the highlights of this entire trip has been going to the stadiums for the games, but especially the Canada games. And yesterday, we got a bit of history. I mean, the exhilaration amongst the Canadian contingent when Alphonso Davies scored, like right off the bat to start the game, was it was something that I'll never forget, man. And you know, the great thing was that we got the historic first goal. Obviously, Canada didn't win. But because of the way the game went, we had about 25, 30 minutes where it really did seem like there was a major reason to believe. Unfortunately, Croatia flexed their muscles, completely dominated us in the midfield yesterday, and showed why they are a team that was one of the top powers in the world, and finished second in the World Cup in 2018 in Russia. But we'll always have that goal. We'll always have that moment. And we do have one more game to see what our Canadians can do against an incredible Morocco team that now is really controlling their own destiny when it comes to making it through what was a very, very difficult Group F to begin with. So we've done a little bit of everything. We went to Canada Soccer House on Saturday night, which was really, really neat. Seeing and meeting with Canadian fans from all over the country that had made the trip out to Qatar was incredibly fun. There was a lot of excitement and exuberance about the potential of what this Canadian team can be. Obviously, we know now that they will not be moving on, but this has been a hell of a lot of fun. It's not over yet. And, man, the tournament itself, I mean, I'm not sure if you were paying attention to these games this morning while you were doing the show, but the first two games today were maybe two of the games of the tournament. A 3-3 tie between, Serbia and Cameroon to get things going. And then the Korea-Ghana game was another absolutely bananas match that finished up 3-2 for the African side. Jake just took off to go do some things. We were a little bit down because how Brazil didn't get a second goal and get the first leg of the double.
Yeah, that stung. I saw that. The Doha double.
They were all over it, but we've had a few nice wins so far. We'll get back on the horse tomorrow. Canada, one more game Thursday, and fingers crossed the travel operates well. I'll be back for NFL Sunday next week, back in the peg, and man, pretty wild NFL Sunday yesterday. We had a little bit of everything in first ever. I mean, I saw somebody cash a 90-1 ticket where there was a field goal and a touchdown for every team in the 1 p.m. slate. So a little bit of everything. And, of course, we're going to get into this Monday Nighter tonight between the Steelers and the Colts.
Yeah, and we'll get into the Monday Nighter here right away. I mean, just as far as yesterday goes, got the Packers push last night. It finished 1-2-1. I think you were 2-2 yesterday. We missed on two of them on the partner parlay. And then I had a separate ticket. This was a killer. It was an 8-gamer, and the only game I missed on, I needed Ravens money line, and they let it slip away, which was an absolute ball breaker. I already had like 5 morning games or props done, and the only other game I needed was the Niners. And I knew the Niners were going to win. It was Niners money line. And the Ravens, once again, it was like a 2-score game in the fourth quarter, Huss. And they let it slip away. They cannot close these things. And I see Gitch in the YouTube channel right now being like, what a parlay killer from the Ravens. And it was. That's
yeah. Well, you guys aren't going to enjoy this, but I was actually the beneficiary of that game.
What?
We were at the lounge beforehand. We got to the game quite early because we have access to this hospitality lounge. It's the best food I've eaten all week, so we've gotten there early. Obviously, there were some cold ones. It's a great way to sort of the Qatari version of tailgating, if you will. Somewhat bougie, but certainly fun. And as I said, I had a sick feeling in my stomach for 2 days after making that Chicago pick, knowing that. I guess when we had made the picks, it was a little earlier. I really didn't understand
Fields
the
is
severity of this Fields injury. And Magic Mike White coming in for Zach Wilson and seeing the way the line moved. I mean, I didn't want to say anything beforehand because weird things happen, and I mean it only went up 1 point to 7. But I had a real bad feeling that I was going to kill the partner parlay with the Bears pick, as well as my own selections, and sure enough, that happened. But I made 3 bets from the lounge right before we went out, and one of them, I can't remember why this came up, but I was talking with Jake Bowen-Moss from CoolBet, and we were talking about the Ravens, and I don't know why, but the consensus came in. Jacksonville money line was very live.
Come on.
Came back watching a stream, saw what happened. The 2-point convert was amazing. And then the other one was I bailed myself out for the entire weekend. Commanders, left hand up.
Yep.
The Panthers, who Jake was telling me the Panthers are going to win. So put that in. And then I put the Chargers in on the parlay, but just on the money line and not on the 2.5-point spread. And then teased the Chiefs down to 6.5. So that one came in, and then also plopped a little Jets puck line with Canucks, who won an OT. So the 3 wagers I made right before the game all came in, made up for the misery of what anything I'd laid out for Canada, and actually ended up getting me into a real good spot. And then this morning, I had the draw in that first game where Serbia was down 1-0. Then they were up 3-1 and thought, okay, this is absolutely over. And then Cameroon came back with those 2 goals. It was truly.
That's a wild ride. It's a wild ride already, buddy. Yeah.
It was, and it put me in a great spot for the rest of the day. And I'm sort of free rolling with this Monday nighter tonight. So let's hope that
let's get into
a good game. And right on. And I see we're both on the same side. Yeah, Pittsburgh. I kept on thinking about this. I think Jeff Saturday has really, I don't want to say made some people eat their words so far, but for a guy that came from the ESPN desk and had never coached at pretty much any level, for the win that they had in the first week, and then, holding Philly, I mean, basically losing to Philly by one of the top teams in the entire National Football League, I thought was great. But now with the extra time to prepare, I got to think that this is a big chance for Mike Tomlin to, remind people that, while he does get some flack, he is a winner. He gets things done. And this is a huge chance for his team. Now they got TJ Watt back to continue moving in a positive direction. I mean, they're not going to the playoffs. 3-7 right now. I don't think the Colts are either. But I think we're going to basically see some of the youth of the Pittsburgh Steelers' future live in prime time tonight with Kenny Pickett and George Pickens, who we'll get to in a minute, out there. And of course, when it all comes to it for Pittsburgh, this is about their defense, and they've got their best player back in TJ Watt. And we know what a difference maker he is. So you can get this, by the way, right now. And I think, I made this pick earlier this morning, and it was like minus 125. But the plus 3 is only minus 116. But hey, I'm in a plus 2.5. Pretty much it's even money right now. If you got it on CoolBet. So I do like the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that they can win this game. I don't mind, frankly, just a straight up money line bet on the Steelers, but we'll take a couple points in a hook here in the lock shop today. And as far as the game, this has actually gone up. Getting in when I did was it wasn't great for the spread. It was good for the total, though. Over 39 points at minus 110. Right now we're looking at basically 40 or 40.5. So I think there's going to be some points scored. I think Indy's got actually, in a better position to make things happen. I think Jonathan Taylor's more healthy right now. He's got a really, really low touchdown prop. That's not really something I was going to touch.
Yeah, it's way up there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be able to show off and, at least give their fans some excitement for the future, if not this season. So Pittsburgh plus 2.5 and the over 39 is where I started out the Monday slate.
Yeah, I was looking at it as well, maybe putting Pittsburgh at just moving it to 3 or whatever. But I think I'd rather put them on money line. I think I'd rather move it to the money line and take plus 124. I think it's plus 124 on the money line right now for the Steelers. I think they can win this game. I think TJ Watt is going to be an absolute nightmare against one of the least mobile quarterbacks in the league in Matt Ryan. So I'm going to take Indy under the 20.5 here as well. Defensively against the run, Steelers aren't bad. And the one thing that, like, the Steelers, I'm not even sure they should be getting the points here. Like, the Steelers so far this year, and yeah, it has not been great from a win-loss perspective. But if you look at their games, man, they've had the most difficult schedule in the entire league so far this season. They lost to Cincy last week, put up 30 on the Bengals, but lost to them. Beat the Saints, who aren't a good football team. Lost to Philly, who is a good team. Lost to Miami, who is a good team. Beat Tampa, who's not a good team. Got crushed by Buffalo, who's obviously an excellent team. They lost a close one to the Jets, who are, a playoff caliber team right now. They lost to Cleveland, and then they lost to New England, who's also having a pretty good season as well. So their schedule has been treacherous so far this year. The Colts, on the other hand, outside of the win against the Chiefs, have beat a bunch of nobodies so far this year. So I think Pittsburgh's schedule has been so difficult that we might think they're an absolutely garbage team, and I don't think they are. I think they're better than the Colts. So I like the fact that we're going to get the points on the road here. So I'm on Pittsburgh plus 2.5. And if Pittsburgh can contain Jonathan Taylor, I don't see Matt Ryan scoring a lot of points in other ways, considering, he was sacked 5 times last week. Now you're going to have Watt coming at you. So I think they get to him quite a few times tonight and ruffle him a little bit. So I'm going to take Indy under the team total here at 20.5 at minus 115.
Just while we're doing this, I'm firing up CoolBet and going through some of the many props and options that are there. And I don't mind a defensive or special teams touchdown in this game at plus 235.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Not at all surprise me that Matt Ryan gets killed on one of the times that he gets sacked and the ball goes out and Pittsburgh takes it the other way. I'm not sure whether we'll jump on that, but it's just something that we can consider
another
going
option
into this game.
Yeah,
exactly. That being said, I was pretty sure where I was going to go with the touchdown. And I've used this guy once already this year and hit it. And I think a primetime opportunity for rookie George Pickens to show that he was a great pick by the Steelers is upon us right now. I think he and Kenny Pickett are getting better chemistry each and every week. And I know we naturally think of the running game of Pittsburgh and some of the, more established players. But honestly, if this team needs a big play, I think Pickens is right at the top of the list right now. And a touchdown for Pickens is plus 275 tonight. We've seen some incredible catches so far this year. The big question is how many balls is he going to be seeing? And listen, I think these numbers and the potential for Pickens is just going to be going up as we get closer, towards the end of the season right now. And as I mentioned, guys realize it's Monday Night Football. It's a huge chance to make a play. This dude is a playmaker. So I'm on Pickens at plus 275 to get into the end zone. And hey, neither of these teams are particularly good. Neither of these teams, I think, are teams that you can really count on to make things happen in the red zone. So you know what's back, everybody. The prime time over field goal prop is here. I had to wait a little while for the number today. And we've seen this number as high as plus 135 when you've taken it so far this year. And I think, man, our record has got to be like 4 or 5 and 1 or 2. I mean, it has definitely been good to us. And let's face it, if the Colts and Steelers don't say field goals, I don't know who does. Over 3.5 field goals tonight, plus 120. Love that pick. And that one's locked in as well, all the way over here, halfway on the other side of the world.
Yeah, I'll be on that one with you as well. And then I'm all in on Freiermuth tonight. I need, from a fantasy perspective, I need 11 points from Harris and Freiermuth combined tonight to get a much-needed win in my highest stake league. So they get 11 points from me tonight, don't they, Huss? Harris and Freiermuth?
Well, I hope so. I mean, hey, I'm back in the Steelers, so I certainly hope that's the case.
Yeah, I hope so. But I'm all in on Freiermuth here. It's set at 47.5 for receiving yards tonight. and a touchdown. Now, the receiving yards, you can probably take care of. The touchdown, I guess why it's at plus 275. He hasn't had a touchdown in his last 7 games and only has 1 on the season. But in his last 4 games, 9 targets, 8 catches, 75 yards. And then the back-to-back games with 4 catches on 7 targets, 57 yards in one of those, 36 yards in another. And then last game, 79 yards on 12 targets with 8 catches. And when 3 of those 4 games, he had a catch that went for 20 yards or more. And you're sitting here right now looking at 47 and a half. 3 times in his last 4 games, he's pretty much got half of this with 1 catch. And he's been targeted on average like 10 times in his last 4 games. So the targets will be there. With the amount that they've been looking to him, it's just a matter of time until he finds the end zone. So I think there's a touchdown coming for Freiermuth. So I'm looking at Freiermuth for like 70 yards and a touchdown tonight. Let's do it. That'd be great.
You know what? What's the Kenny Pickett prop tonight? What is our friend Kenny Pickett looking at for passing yards?
For yards, I think. I looked at it a little bit earlier because Matt Ryan's at 233. Yeah, Kenny Pickett's at 210.5.
I don't mind the over on Pickett today. I mean, I know that, Najee Harris needs to get going. You've got, his backup Warren seems to be a little bit more of a play, but I gotta say, I'm high on Pickett going into this game tonight. I like the Steelers, but I'm going to stick with the Pickens touchdown and taking the points on Pittsburgh, the over 39, and let's go field goals, our usual prime time chant here in the lock shop for that prop that always seems to pay plus money.
It doesn't, if the Steelers hit tonight, we could be in a really good spot here. Pickens TD, Freiermuth TD. Let's hit them all on a Monday night with the lock shop. Last Monday night, we were 6 for 6. So hopefully,
that's right.
Hopefully we can knock that out again. Yeah, that would be terrific. All right, Hustle, back on the soccer scene for you, buddy, or what's the plan here?
Back on the soccer scene. So I'm about to do the show today with Remo, Winnipeg Sports Talk, coming up at 1. If you haven't checked it out before, we're on YouTube at Winnipeg Sports Talk. You should be getting to YouTube for sure. Get in the mix for that $1,000 we're giving away once we get to 1,000 followers on the Lock Shop. But hit us up with a sub on WST as well. We're live every day, 1 p.m. Central, Winnipeg time, noon Edmonton time. Obviously, we focus in on some of the big stories around Winnipeg, but also World Cup and National Football League, CFL, all the things that we're talking about each and every day. So, yeah, pretty much. Tomorrow, I will not be on the program, though. Obviously, I'm here. We've done a lot of work, but I wanted to get another day to get to a game outside of Canada. We did take in Tunisia and Australia on the weekend.
I saw that tweet, yeah.
Tunisia, dude, Tunisian fans. I'm learning a lot about the different cultures of the world. These people are intense, and they were not pleased with the way that they lost to the Socceroos in Australia. So I'm hoping to be at the USA-Iran game.
Ooh,
either that or England-Wales. So Remo's going to hold it down for me tomorrow on the program. Then we'll sort of get back to normal, do the regular shows on Wednesday. And then Thursday we'll be away because that's Canada's final game going up against Morocco. And then basically I'll be checking in with you, doing the best bets, beginning WST on Friday, and then actually having to bust out mid-show to get to the airport to start the long ride home back to the cold. But back to home, sweet home. So
enjoy that heat, buddy. Enjoy that heat. It's minus 12 in Edmonton right now. Feels like minus 20. It's going down to minus 25 on Thursday. I got to spend 2 hours out back today getting the liner in for the outdoor rink. So enjoy your heat. Enjoy your swimming pool today, buddy.
Hey, listen. I am Canadian and I'm very fair. I don't know if you can see how red my face is, but you'll get a kick out of this, dude. So we decide to go to this Tunisia-Australia game, and the FIFA website is sort of screwed. I mean, it's so hard to get in, so hard to get these resale tickets, and we finally got them for this game, but we didn't get them that much before the game. We're at the hotel. It was one of the stadiums that were farther away. So we say we'll just jump in an Uber and figure it out. So many streets are closed in and around the stadiums, and the Uber drivers have no clue. I mean, and it's not like this is the drop off for fans.
Yeah.
But you're sort of left to fend for yourself. And First off, I was wearing a black Cool Bet t-shirt. I was not wearing a hat. And we got dropped off probably about 3 to 4 kilometers away from where we ended up having to get in. And dude, it must have been 32 or 33, blazing sun. And I mean, you've got one of the pastiest white dudes in Canada having to struggle through this. I don't know if I've been this hot. It physically as hot as I've been in forever. And I came back, and listen, we had a great time. We went to Canada House that night, and thank God they were serving a few cold ones, because that kind of got me back in the game quite well. Otherwise, sunstroke, many other things were conspiring to take me down. I battled through, and then of course was ready to go for the Canada game yesterday. And yes, I did do a video. You might want to check the sched. I was saying, right around now, this would normally be tailgating time before a football game. This is a very interesting version of tailgating, a pretty high-end version of it, but got a little bit of a look at the hospitality operation there at Khalifa Stadium. Cool. And the thing was, it was really up a few notches. Not as much like the food and, everything that was there for you, but the actual facility and what we were in, because this is a stadium that, I believe was pretty much built for the World Cup, whereas the one we went to for the Canada-Belgian game was one that had been improved and retrofitted for the event. So,
okay.
And we're going to see another new stadium tomorrow. Hopefully get to on Thursday. But yeah, so it'll be a little different show. Probably won't be in the lock shop a couple times. We'll see if Patty wants to jump in maybe for that Thursday show while I'm out at those games.
Yeah.
But come Friday, we're back to it. And as I said, my biggest takeaway and what I'm most thankful for, after dreading for 2 days that I had made the worst pick of the year, I still managed to escape a 2-2, won some last minute bets. So I actually finished way up for the week. And still, I guess now best bets, 31-17. So every week I don't take a big step back. I exhale, I focus in forward, and I'm already thinking about next Friday, trying to get back in a big win column, get a couple partner parlays back in the win column. And but let's start it off with another. I mean, we can't do better than we did last Monday in Monday Night Football, but the bar is set high. Let's try to do it again.
Let's do it again. Ride with the Lock Shop, Monday Night Football. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on the podcast. Make sure you subscribe there. And follow us on Twitter as well if you don't yet, at Lock Shop Bets on Twitter. Huss, have a great couple of days, buddy, and we'll catch up with you later in the week.
You got it, man. Thanks so much.